And hello, hello, hello. We are here at the beautiful Out of the Mud Studios in downtown Flint. And this is Connected and Protected with host Dehru Mitchell. And this title is When Certainty Becomes Certain. And here's Mr. Mitchell.
I would like to clarify that when certainty becomes certain, you may feel it's like an epiphany. You may feel like it's an outstanding moment in your life. Be sure that you are knowing that you're being you, regardless as to what you have been in the past, what you have been stated to be, what you have been applying yourself toward that really wasn't your aptitude or ability. But yet and still you had to make finances and so on and so forth. So you chose to do certain things. But then when that certainty comes along, it takes everything else out of the way. It stops you from being sidetracked. It stops you from being held up. It invites all of those who are able to help you ascend and progress and profit. It invites them into your life because you're certain. You're certain of what you want, what you're going to get, what you're going to do to get it, and how you're going to be because you are certain that the being that you're going to be is actually you. You don't have a problem with it. And anyone that does, you allow that to be their problem. Now, I come to the point of saying this because it hit me kind of like a brick when all of the things that I understood about me and all of the things that I was doing and all of the things that were being done around me. Some even attempted to do some things to me. But over and above all, it seems as though I put out the most energy in my realm, in my world, to cause things to be the way I want them to be. Sometimes I get a little discombobulated and I slip up and I let, you know, would you say I let holes in the shield or in the barriers to let other things slip in, but I quickly close them back up. And in no uncertain terms, things don't go well for those who don't understand that they would rather I pray for them than pray on them. And at the same time, I have the ability to allow people to be who they are, and they will prove to be who they are. And then I see if they fit into any kind of form that they choose to be in my world for my benefit. Now, if they're going to just benefit themselves, it may happen, but only for a short period of time because I don't allow that much of my energy to purpose for someone else. I give a lot now, but not that much. To the extent that I am certain that my longevity at being within the realm and the energies and the vibrations that I have been in for so long, even though they may seem even strange to me, but I understood them very well and I allowed them to be. Things came about, especially when I altered my direction or path or whatever. But once back on that path and back in line with it, things became much, much easier, much more fluent. I got I got that point of certainty that this is how I am and this is how I'm supposed to be. I got that point of certainty that in my becoming and yet becoming, I'm still becoming the me that I'm going to be, the me that I am, following me, becoming me. And it's joyful, you know. Sometimes it gets a little tedious, I must admit, you know. And sometimes I have to question, was that the right direction to go in? But at some point, some things become a little elusive. That means it becomes a little, um, I have to chase it down. And it might get away, but not for long. Seems to be a circular motion sometimes where it comes back around and I catch up with it or it catches up with me. But it's for my benefit. And I enjoy it because it's overwhelming sometimes that, you know, things come in view, come into perspective, come into alignment, and they enrich you. Excuse me. Not to the point where you're wealthy or any of that, but it comes to the point where you are certain and you wouldn't have it any other way. And you can stand on it. You can stand within it. And it will give you all of its properties to use. And that the biggest one is how it magnetizes you to those who are being drawn to you for the purpose of their enrichment that enriches you. You know, you get a certain amount of pleasure from knowing that you are assisting someone, and it's certain that that was your guide point and you were guided to that point, but it was also, pre-established. And I tend not to give too much credit to this world in the fact that it doesn't have a desire to fulfill spiritual things. And I claim to be spiritual. Not very much openly. Others do that. And I choose to, you know, accept in what I feel is meant for me and those that the and those that don't follow that path because it's so strange to them and they're being called by other things in this world. And me, I don't try to hold them. But, you know, all in all, it magnifies itself. You know, you get a little here, then you get a little over there, and then it doubles up and it triples up. And, before you know it, you have a whole bunch of people that's just like family. And it may just be family. Those who have been distant, those who have never really chosen to be in a family style lifestyle because they've always had conflicts with this and conflicts with those things. And, you know, all of us had to grow up and all of us didn't know diddly about, you know, what it entails to allow yourself to be involved or be involved with someone else to the extent that you are, you know, going on those things that you presume, you think, you were told, or you were shown in various manners that this is the way things should be. But each and every individual has their own some each and every one has their own true openness to what they choose and how they choose and who they choose to be involved with. And I don't know why some people hold so many things back in an involvement that they chose to be in. They got to be cautious about this or careful about that. And, they can't be themselves. And if they are being themselves, then they find that, you know, it doesn't go with the norms. It doesn't go with the status quo. It doesn't go with, what you're supposed to be. And who said that? I am just as I am and who I am. You know, I give place to me. Others increase my stature, but I give place to me. And I'm gonna flow with it. I'm finna go here and take and spread some wings and take on off because time is limited. Really, when you get around where I'm at, you never know. Any little accident could occur, and there you're taking wings. But at the same time, I'm not very cautious at times to try to relate to something that may cause an end of me. For one thing, I don't think there is an end. You know, my saying is go from life to life, and you know, you elevate on this plane, and then you go to the next plane, which is a little higher, and it has its own involvement, and that's why this is forgotten for so to a certain extent. But to be certain, you don't know that you have never ended. Many beginnings, but it is also written no end. Eternity has no end. But we're going to stay right here in this present place, you know, and decide that we're going to be certain that we're doing ourselves. And that's one thing that I have placated for so long. I thought about it so hard. I have wanted it so bad that, it comes to the point where it hurts a little bit that a lot of people will not accept themselves in that area. They stick with old paradigms. They stick with those things that they've been doing, regardless if it's healthy or hurting for themselves. That's all they know. They're not looking any further into what would happen if I learned this or, investigated that or chose to be different for myself, you know, because you're going to reach a point where you're going to be certain that, hey, this is me. This is what I was born to do, or this is what I was born to be, you know. And it's so easy for me. And all of them, most of the things that I did coming to this point were, life lessons and so on and so forth. But the biggest ones were the ones that instilled in me a sense of self. It gave me, you could say, confidence to weather the storm, weather through the naysayers, those ones that would say, you playing games or did this or that or whatever. But they never gave rise to very much doubt of me being who I am, me being me, irregardless as to someone else's opinion or someone else's projection of it. Because I've been through quite a few of the psychological departments on on it, and I give it very little place for me. I've been satisfied a whole lot, hurt a whole lot too, though. Matter of fact, a lot of times I hurt myself, but it wasn't in lieu of being around somebody else that would have, or any of that. I mean, I seriously hurt myself just overindulging, overstrenuating, or making myself push, 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 push. But to that same extent, I get a certain amount of joy when someone says, I appreciate it, and you were so considerate to do this for me. And that's a joy. It's a real joy, you know, because appreciation goes a long ways. It shows up at various times too. At the most needed times, sometimes. We give ourselves very little credit for being able to, you know, magnetize, to influence the radio waves, the frequencies, the vibrations, but it's nothing different. You've had thoughts, other people have thoughts of you, and you have thoughts of them. And it seems to occur when it occurs that it follows that same thought pattern that you had. I'm of a mind to say we can be joyful, for that is part of creation that we came in. We can be fulfilled because he gave we got that to do. And it's a pretty tall order. You know, I could honestly say that I would have loved to have this state of mind years ago, but certainty now it gives me a wide avenue. I ain't gonna speed down it. I ain't gonna just keep crisscrossing lanes either. I'm set my point over the horizon or whatever and get there with as little conflict and as little restriction as possible. We've been given a whole lot, and some won't even consider their own ability to achieve that whole lot that we've been given. We're going to make a certain amount of mistakes along the way, for sure. But that certainty says you get back online, you get back in line, and you follow your and you follow. Come on, man, and you follow your path that you thrive in. It gives you that, and it gives you that certainty that is if it's not just bomb blasting you on a daily basis, it's coming. It's going to magnify itself. It's going to be of a magnitude that you're going to be sure that it's just you, it's for you, and all of that. We're going to give ourselves choices and chances. No, I'm going to get off. Oh man, please. I have been joyful with the longevity that I've had and
Yeah, yeah.
with the longevity that
Can
I've
you hear me?
had with people in my life, with you know those who were you know a little a little skeptical.
So I'm gonna pause you for a moment. So we just have one of the founders of Out of the Mud jumping in on the show, and his name is James Mayfield, the greatest Mayfield, and he's here to support Mr. Daru Mitchell. And today's title is When Certainty Becomes Certain. So we're gonna end the last stretch of this with them having a creative conversation.
So, how certain are you of the goals and the strides and everything that you've made to the point where you can see yourself going further with certainty?
Oh, it's very clear. There ain't no doubt in my mind. I'm gonna do. You know what? I tell people this, and anything that I strive to do, and things that I have accomplished over the years, because I had to plant that seed first,
Oh yeah,
and water it and feed it, and then so everything that I actually did up to this point, when I put my mind to it and I stuck in there and believed in myself, it turned to gold. So I like to tell people that it ain't really tooting my own horn. It's really putting
yeah.
in the universe, say whatever I touch
Well, I've
for
been
the
there.
longest
I know already.
turns to
Yeah,
gold, like
yeah,
bright and
yeah,
big. And it's
yeah.
like, and then so I'm getting older now. And it was like when I was younger, I kind of wanted to boast a little bit more about it and make sure everybody knows. So now, I, a lot of the things that I'm doing now as I'm getting older, people would never know, but
Right.
they'll know to a certain extent. It's just
Exactly, because it's
I'm
gonna
I'm
show.
I'm
It's gonna
starting to
show.
show.
Yeah.
It's starting to show for itself than
Right.
me having to say it. But I have to say it a lot to put out in the universe. You missed the show we had last night. We talked about the power of manifestation.
Okay.
And that's kind of, and why, so we had a great conversation. But like you said, it's real clear. I'm certain in whatever I want to do, and it's nothing that can stop me from doing what I want to do. It's nobody, it's no
That's the
person, no
beautiful thing. That is
situation.
the beautiful part of it.
I am my
Yeah.
biggest enemy. If it don't happen, it's because of me. It's not because of no other body. And I think I told him next week we should talk about accountability, because I just feel like everything that happens to you is your fault. You got to find some fault in there. You got to be accountable.
Oh, sure, sure,
You can't
sure.
just put it off on other people.
No, if
Or
you
that's
are,
it because of that. Because
yeah,
it,
no,
you
because
know,
you're the one that's involved.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
So, would you guys mind if I jump in a
yeah,
little
yeah,
bit?
yeah.
I want to challenge what you guys are saying. So, accountability, that's great, but you don't think that sometimes that there are outside forces that create the barriers for you to fail or to try to make you fail?
I'm gonna
That's
answer this
all.
with one question. I'm gonna
That's
answer this with
that
one
point.
question.
Try.
Let me answer
Yeah,
this,
okay.
and this is all I can really say about that. Any and everything I believe in life that happens to a person, especially if it's bad, it's a positive lesson in there that you're supposed to learn. And if you don't learn it, you're just gonna keep reoccurring.
Okay.
That's all I
And it
really
might
got to
make you
say
meet
about
your
it.
demise.
Yeah. So, but
So
if
you
you can
saying
find out, and it's better and it's healthier for you to find out a way to take accountability to say, even if it was other forces, it's my
Hmm.
fault. So that way you can grow from that. You're not gonna grow if you blame it on somebody else because you feel like it's not your fault. Find fault in it and say it's my fault. Take that accountability and grow from it and learn from it.
Yeah.
okay?
The certainty that comes with that is that,
And that's in everything.
yeah,
That's in
yeah,
everything.
yeah, and it's certain.
That's in everything. Yeah. George threw me on up here. It's all good.
You just
I'm always ready
and
for
you,
that case.
yeah, you done stymied him. Look over there and blink. You
No,
still
because
blinking.
when you really think about it, you if you hold yourself accountable, even though it's other people, guess what? You learn the lesson. Because now it's like, okay, in your mind, you might still think it was their fault, but what was the positive thing you were supposed to pull out of that, and what was you supposed to learn from that situation, so that way it won't happen again.
How do you
Now you
turn it?
getting stronger.
How do you turn it around?
What you mean?
No, what I mean is that if you're looking at it in that point of view, that certain point of view that says I have me, you know, to hold accountable for it, and they're just trying to do something. They have no real ability to alter your course, alter your being. So, when you do give yourself that positive understanding of all of those things that are occurring, you make your choice, and you're certain that that choice
be greater. We all have to, and it'll make you a stronger person. Uh, Taking that accountability.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now, the other thing I felt about being certain is no one else can do it for you. No one else can be that